I've made a few videos on my channel using proof by induction, and this is kind of a hard concept for a lot of people to understand, especially if you're just learning different proof methods for the first time. There are other proof methods like direct proofs and contrapositive proofs that a lot of people can get pretty easily, like, okay, that makes sense. Induction is something that's a little more advanced and a little harder to actually get, so that's the point of this video. There are obviously a bunch of other videos on YouTube explaining this, but considering I've made some videos on this concept and I plan to make more, it makes sense to actually talk about what it means and kind of how to understand it. So induction is usually equated to kind of like a ladder, an infinite ladder, because you're trying to prove things for typically all natural numbers n, stuff like that. So here I have a ladder and it keeps going on forever, so I'm just going to draw an arrow to, make you think that. So we have n equals 1, n equals 2, n equals 3, and so on, right? And so leave this for now. Basically, we'll get to kind of explaining what this means, but you get on the ladder, that's the first step, and then after that, you just climb it. That's pretty much what induction is. You get on the ladder and then you climb it all the way to infinity. So induction usually comes with two steps. The first one being the base case, and then the second one being the induction step. With the base case, you're really just proving the claim for n equals 1. Okay, that's it. Or maybe n equals 2 if that makes more sense, or n equals 0 if that makes more sense. It's just basically your first step, okay? Whatever makes the most sense. The induction step is proving n equals k plus 1, assuming that the claim holds for n equals k, okay? So basically what our assumption is that n equals k works for any natural number k, and then the induction step is actually saying, okay, assuming that works, let's do n equals k plus 1. So let's say we're on, let's say k is equal to 3 for our example. Really the proof is for any k, but let's just say we're on k equals, this would be k equals 3. We're looking for k plus 1, which is 4. So it's like, okay, this one works, let's see if this one works. And so that's kind of climbing the ladder, because you start with 1, and then you go plus 1, and then plus 1, and then plus 1. So that's pretty much the idea. So the reason why this works, because it may seem a little counterintuitive, because you're saying, oh yeah, let's assume it works for every value of k. Aren't we trying to prove it for every value of n? And then we're basically saying, like, oh yeah, just assume almost the whole thing's true. The reason why we can do that is because we proved the base case. This is proven. We're good, okay? When we say k plus 1, we're saying, okay, well, if k equals 1, that tells us that n equals 2, right? That's just 1 plus 1, just 2, right? So k equals 1, so this is proven. So now, if that's proven, let's look at n equals 2, and then we can prove this, okay? So now let's say we proved that, okay? So now we have k equals 2. Well, that's going to give us n equals 3. So we proved it for k equals 2, so now let's go to n equals 3. Okay, we proved this, and then, we just keep iterating that process, and we prove this and that and that and so on. Now, all of this can be done with just one step, the induction step. And again, that assumption that we make, that n equals k, that's usually referred to as the induction hypothesis. And so basically the idea is, okay, we get on this first step, and then it kind of allows us to, knock all the dominoes over. I guess you could think of it that way as well. So we get on, we prove the first one, and then by saying, okay, assuming k is true, let's do k plus 1. Assuming k is true, let's do k plus 1, okay? Now assuming k is true, let's do k plus 1. And then over and over and over. And you're able to do that all at once and knock every other, you're able to basically climb the ladder all the way to the top, which is infinity, which doesn't really make sense, but so that's kind of the idea of induction. I hope this was a good explanation and you found it helpful. If you still have questions, then obviously definitely leave them in the comments. So yeah, that's my little take on induction, so I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!